I thought I was live like a half an hour ago. I've literally been going through these text messages. And I even thought I made sure to make sure that I was live. I'm very embarrassed and I apologize to you guys that's in the room. I'm so sorry. There's like a waiting room and then you go into another room where you have to hit another live button. And I thought that I hit the live and I didn't. So I thought that I was live and I wasn't. I apologize, guys. I'm so sorry. I feel like I should put out another announcement, but I don't know. We'll just roll with it as best we can. Okay. Anyway, guys, we're going to be talking the Real Housewives of New Jersey today. We have a lot to discuss, and we're going to be discussing these leaked text messages between Teresa and Melissa. Melissa allegedly saying in the episode last night that she had not talked to Teresa. She gave a text message to Bravo, asked Bravo to air the message. No, Barbara, I thought I was live a half hour ago and I literally talked for a half hour and I wasn't. So you're perfect timing. Everything in this video is, of course, alleged. The leaked text messages. Melissa says in the episode that she hasn't heard from Teresa. She provides this text message to Bravo, which was, why would she do this? Like, I just don't understand. Anyways, she provides this text message and says, I haven't talked to Teresa since the reunion. Guys, did everyone hear that from Melissa? Like, she literally says, haven't heard from Teresa, texted her the day of the reunion, and she provides this message. And it says, Teresa, I texted you driving home from the reunion and you never answered back until now. It seems a little bit calculated to me that you actually have to watch the reunion and read the comments to make yourself feel like you want to fix the family again for the 100th time. I feel like this text is about you and not really about us, especially when we're just about to go into filming again in 2 weeks. After all these years, I finally find a way to accept the way our relationship is for our children. I don't want to argue with you. I want to point something out to you guys. This line up here where she says you want to fix your family again for the 100th time. Did you guys pick up on that like a little bit of a dig? And Melissa did another dig I really didn't like when she was talking about Louis and Teresa, and she didn't know what the problem was. And she said, when they were dating, they spent a lot of time at Teresa and Joe's, and when Teresa needed to introduce him to everybody, that it was at Melissa's house. And when she needed to introduce him to family, it was at Melissa's house. And I just felt like that was a dig. Like, you didn't have any family to introduce him to, technically, except for your brother. So, like, I loaned you my mom and sisters to come over. That was just kind of the feeling that I got from it. But let's continue. I don't want to argue with you. Let's just leave it as it is and be what it is. Um, we are family and we should always respect that. No need to go to lunch. You drew the line in the sand. And with the wedding, you've said multiple times on interviews that we will never be friends. I agree with you. We will always be family and I will always wish you nothing but the best. Okay, so let's go back to the original text message, right? The original message that Melissa gave Bravo was that she texted Teresa after the reunion. And I don't know if I'm allowed to have those butt shows. So I'll put this up here, okay? March 31st is when apparently they must have filmed the reunion. It must have been right about there. So March 31st, they filmed the reunion. The reunion doesn't even air until I think May 17th. May 17th. So if Teresa saw the reunion, the only way she would have been able to see it would have been if Bravo had given the reunion to the ladies early to watch. And yes, please, thank you, Mia. Hit the like button. So the only way that Teresa would have seen seen the reunion is if Bravo would have provided the reunion to the ladies prior to it actually airing. And then also, it wouldn't make sense. Why would she be waiting on comments? Nobody would have been commenting anything because they hadn't seen the reunion yet, maybe bits and pieces. But she's making it sound like Teresa was only reaching out because people in the comments were telling her to, which that hasn't even really been the case. We're going to get into all of that as well. We had a Instagram account get reported and shut down, and it was a big account, guys. that was giving us a lot of tea about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they were 100% Team Teresa. But we'll go to a suspended account today. So remind me to talk about that. I might even write it down. I'm having a rough day, guys. Not even gonna lie. Struggles, right? Just been busy. Okay, so the original message from Melissa to Teresa on March 31st after family reunion says, I'm just letting you know, I'm truly fine with not being in the wedding. I don't want to bring it up again within our family. Moving forward, I wish you guys all the best. I'm not going to get mad at you for what Jennifer does, and you shouldn't get mad at me for what Margaret does. Good night. March 31st. Then we have like the meme or whatever. I don't know why this butt meme. It must have been like a happy Easter, right? So April 29th. Yes, that would be about, was it about a month, guys, right? Teresa must call Melissa, and Melissa doesn't answer, and she says, I'm actually at school, can't talk. I can call you back later, question mark. And Teresa, not knowing their address, um, because don't forget, guys, they moved, right? Teresa says, what's your address? And she says, I spoke to him about getting his birthday gift. So she's saying, like, I am obviously calling you about Joey's birthday. I'm trying to get him a gift. What's your address? Maybe she was going to send him something. Teresa said in the podcast or in her confessionals, like, I think it was the podcast, that she was never invited to their home for birthday parties and those sort of events unless it was a filmed event. So for 6 months out of the year, hey, she would be invited. They would film happy birthday to the kids. But if it wasn't during filming, well, then she wasn't invited. And we've always kind of felt like Teresa has said like how badly she wants to be a part of the boys' life when she was like dancing with them at the christening, if you guys remember, and it was a big deal, yada yada yada. So she's obviously making an effort, like, hey, trying to get birthday gift, whatever. So she sends this picture, says thank you. Melissa says, never heard of it. Teresa says, it's in Short Hills Mall. They have all the sneakers these kids want, right? May 3rd. May 3rd. Hi, we are actually, oh, this is okay. So then they get invited. Sorry, guys. I don't know where we missed the one that they got invited somewhere. There's one more, I thought. Because they invite her to vacation, to birthday, I think. Oh, shoot. I don't want to get these out of order. They didn't put them in order. All right, I'll just read it like they have them because I don't understand why I don't see that one. Okay, so we're going to go right on into it. Keep it rolling. On May 3rd, I don't know if Teresa called, texted, whatever, the text message, we don't see it before. She says, hi, we actually have another event that night, so we won't be able to make it. Teresa says, okay, May 3rd. So she must have watched the reunion. The ladies must have gotten like the reunion tapes early, right? So she says, after watching the reunion, I do feel and know that our families have gone backwards. I want us to be a better example for our children, starting with myself. I love you and I just want things to be better. Are you free for lunch? May 4th. This is where Melissa like cuts her up, right? Sorry, Krista. I love you. I'm just saying. So she says, Teresa, I texted you driving home from the reunion. You never answered me back until now. It just seems a little calculated to me that you actually had to watch the reunion and read the comments and make yourself feel like you want to fix this family again for the 100th time. I feel like this text is about you and not really about us. Especially when we're just about to go into filming in 2 weeks. After all these years, I finally found a way to accept the way our relationship is. For our children, I don't want to argue with you. Let's just leave it as it is. And leave it as it is and be what we are. We are family and we should always respect that. No need to go to lunch. You drew the line in the sand with the wedding. You said multiple times on interviews that we will never be friends. I agree with you. We'll always be family and I will always wish you nothing but the best. See you soon. Emoji. Teresa, she says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did not respond to you that night. We had a very, very long day and I was exhausted and not feeling good, especially after the surgery. Thank you so much for what you said. It was heartfelt and genuine. But she didn't really say anything. She was just like, I'm okay with not being in your wedding. Don't get mad at me for what Margaret does, and I won't get mad at you. Have a good night. There wasn't really anything super heartfelt about it, but okay. She's like, thank you. It was so heartfelt and genuine. We are family and we can do better starting with me. For people that say Teresa Judice doesn't apologize, she says, I am sorry about the wedding and I feel terrible that I hurt you from the bottom of my heart. Let's talk about it. It would mean the world to me. She says, Teresa, all good. I'm fine with it. I told you that. Oh no, not the next day, like 7 days later. Teresa, good morning, beautiful. Next Wednesday, the 18th, would love to have you and your family over for cake for my birthday. Let me know and have a great day. And Melissa says, like 5 hours later, okay, let me check with your brother. I'll get back to you. And then the next day, she says, I asked Joe about Wednesday. He said, we will be in the city. We have a business dinner that was set up a long time ago. People are flying in from LA to have dinner with us. Okay. And the kids have a game. So sorry, we cannot we cannot be bothered with cake and ice cream for you. Like, how dare you invite us to cake and ice cream at your house and there are not going to be cameras there? Ugh, the nerve of these people. um, she says, okay, no worries. May 18th. Thank you so much for the flowers. They were beautiful. Love you. Welcome. Have a good day. Out of nowhere, the 29th, like 7 days later, she says, I love you. I'm thinking of you. We love you too. And the ends with a hi, when are you leaving? I'll be done in 10 minutes. So basically, these were to point out that there was definitely correspondence between the filming of the reunion and when they came back to like filming the show, right? So, yeah, the nerve of Teresa to invite them over there for cake and ice cream and not be filming. She should know better. Hasn't Melissa taught her anything? Melissa's like, I could not be bothered with you unless I'm getting some airtime. Like, I will not talk to you for free. I just kind of feel like that's what she's saying. And then let's also talk about, I have to say, what about Tiki Barber and his wife showing up to this event? Like, girl, I cannot believe they showed up to that event because they did her so dirty at the reunion. I mean, that was really dirty to have her go there and dress, go through hair and makeup and yada yada, shoes and dress. Like, there's a hell of a lot of planning that goes into a reunion. I think they barely give them like a budget. I think it's like $1,000, maybe, if that. And so it's like a lot of women even say they lose money like the first year they're on the housewives because they have to throw parties and the attire. And so, some of them hire stylists, they buy dresses, they have designers. Like, there's work and planning that goes into the reunion. And so for her to be asked at the reunion and to prepare herself for the reunion and then attend the reunion in a chair off, like, they didn't even make sure they had a couch big enough for Tiki Barber's wife. They were like, we're just gonna pull this chair. It was in the closet back there, but it's brown. It's gonna match. No one's gonna notice anyway. So we're just gonna sit this chair right down here at the end of the couch when it's time for Tiki Barber's wife to come in. Like, she got zero airtime at the reunion, and they didn't even do a Scala from Real Housewives of Potomac that dirty. Okay, like, she just went to the reunion. They at least gave her like 5 minutes. They could give her something, an introduction. They did a freaking 3-part reunion and they couldn't make any room for Tiki Barber's wife. that was wild to me. I was like, man, that is like that's dirty. And then they came to the skating event. Mm, mm, mm. As is Melissa hosting the event? I was so confused by that too because I didn't understand why she was like hosting it. I was confused for a second. Stacy says families fall out all the time. Sometimes people are too toxic to be in your life. And you know what, Stacy? That's so funny that you say it because Dolores said the same exact thing on Watch What Happens Live last night. And it is making its rounds. I love Dolores. She's very a beautiful woman. I didn't care for the dress that she was wearing. Um, I just thought it was like maybe too low cut or something. She's a very beautiful woman. She's so tan, like a golden goddess or something. She's so beautiful. Um, but I wanted to show you guys her. Well, I can't really. I don't know if I can show you really quickly because I don't want to get a copyright. Um, I did post it. Where did it go? Maybe it didn't post yet because I've posted so much today that I think my internet's like slow or something. Oh no, here you guys go. I don't know. I probably can't play it. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Anyway, she wore a really pretty, beautiful gold gown and she looked gorgeous. But I do wish that maybe she would get a stylist sometimes. I think the ladies are so beautiful. And they do a really great job, of course. But I just didn't particularly, like I said, I just think, yeah, I can't find it, just a picture of it. So, anyways, she said that basically it's time to go. They need to just part their ways. And that says a lot because of the fact that we're not used, usually she plays Switzerland, right? Like usually Dolores is Switzerland, and you are not going to get her to sway one way or the other because Dolores is a smart woman. Okay. She's a smart woman. She knows nobody's winning when it comes to family because it's just like if you have a best friend that has a cheating husband and you see him cheating. And so you tell her and then she believes him. And then you're like out of best friend and all you tried to do was like tell her that her boyfriend was cheating. But like sometimes family, people don't, everyone's perception is different of things. And so I've always respected Dolores for her decision to stay out of it, but at the same time, I do hope that she stands up a little bit. I don't care if she's for Melissa or Teresa, just be for somebody because Dolores has so much like potential to be like an amazing housewife. And like I've talked about this before, that it could be her season any day now. So hopefully she gets a little cray cray this year. It looks like her and Jennifer are going to be going back and forth. We got 7 minutes of next week's episode floating around, and it looks like, yeah, they're going to be arguing pretty badly. And Jennifer and Bill are going to storm off, and they're going to be in a Bentley. And it's not a kind of Bentley that Joe and Melissa were driving. No, they do not have the same salesperson. I don't think that Melissa and Joe's car salesman is out of federal prison yet. So he probably couldn't be there to sell Bill or lease Bill the Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe was probably like, hey, yo, I have a really great car dealer, but he's in the prison right now. So sorry, Bill. Dolores didn't stay out of the Manzo family business when it came down to Dina's ex. Great point, Rainbow. Thank you for pointing that out. I actually forgot that. Okay. Now we know that. Someone said Dolores is for Marge. I think that Marge has dirt on her. Hi, Yo-Yo. How are you? Thank you for the great content you sent me today. I think that Marge has dirt on Dolores. I really, really do. We have to remember Frank was like this part a couple of years ago over, I don't know, probably a technicality. I think there was a little bit of money that came out of an account, but it got like given back, right? Whatever the case may be. So we know that, he's squeaky clean, but we don't know if he's like squeaky, squeaky, squeaky clean, right? Because we know it's New Jersey and all of them have connections and sometimes things fall off the truck. Okay. It just happens. You could probably just be walking down the streets and things be falling off trucks. Who knows? Anyways, what I do want to talk about though too, as well as since we're talking about March, is that there's this video going around. I did a video on it like yesterday or the day before, I think. But here's what had happened: was allegedly the account on Instagram, love Gabriella, which is also the same account on Twitter, Melissa's old nose, posted the video yesterday after I think the episode aired, and today her account was suspended, and there were lots and lots of reports of Krista, thank you. Misappropriated but paid. I was like paid immediately when it came to Frank. She's 100% correct. Anyways, so the account when this morning the account was suspended after this account posted the video of Marge, the ones I let you hear. It was allegedly reported over 400 times to Instagram throughout the middle of the night, because again, this was a video of Dolores, and it sounds a lot like she's saying like half of the R word. And the love Gabriella account posted it after the episode aired, and like I said, 400 reports on the video, and woke up to a suspended account. And don't you know that Marge is like a night owl? Like, didn't Joe B tell us about her like sitting up and like being online all night? Did anyone else say that? Or did I really just think that? Mia says Dolores is my favorite housewife, but Jennifer has a point. Dolores is never 100 with anyone. Yeah, she just tries to play the peacemaker. So now we're back. Anyways, Dolores does always sort of just play the peacemaker, and so therefore she feels like she's standing up for the other ladies, but in reality, she's just kind of really being a peacemaker. Like, hey, look at it from Jen's perspective. Hey, look at it from his perspective. And so I think that that's what happens, unfortunately. I know, Yo-Yo. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that I picked up where I left off. Ugh, my Wi-Fi. I live in the country. That's the only bad thing about the country. Barbara says, I love that account. Yes, allegedly, it was also mentioned on Watch What Happens Live last night. Allegedly, Andy mentioned that account. So therefore, I'm trying to get out of this. Therefore, we think that it's possible, it got a lot of attention because it was mentioned on Watch What Happens Live. And so therefore the video of Marge really was like circulating a little bit more because it was posted. And therefore maybe somebody saw it and they started reporting it. I mean, 400 times, that's a long time. That's a lot of times to report a video. Just saying. Yeah, so we have that. And then we have, did you guys notice that they introduced Danielle, which I think we're gonna like her. She seems very Jersey-licious. And she's done other reality shows. Guys, we've talked about that before, that she was on the MTV reality show and she moved from Staten Island out to LA. And then we saw her on like Britney's Biggest Fan competition. I don't think I got to show you guys that. I posted it. She like did this whole rap to Britney Spears and ended up, I'm still impressed when I talk about it because I love Britney Spears, but she like did this whole rap and ended up like winning Britney Spears' Biggest Fan. So I think that when she says like her husband's made all of her dreams come true, she really means like, you know, he's that now they're on the reality show and they're in Jersey. I think might be from out west. I'm not really sure. I think he does security for a living. That's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of a red flag. We can't trust these security people. Teddy Mellencamp's husband, remember? Remember everyone's house that has used Teddy Mellencamp's husband allegedly has gotten robbed? Her rental house had a murder. Brenda said, "Ooh, Danielle, I'm looking forward to meeting her." She said she should take her own advice. Yo-Yo says, "Hi, Mia. Dolores should take her own advice, though. I feel like she owes Jen an apology for calling her out her name." Did you guys notice that Bill was driving a black Bentley? I was just saying it was a really nice Bentley. It looked really nice, and I don't know what to think of Bill this year. I'm surprised to see him so drunk on the shore. I don't know if that's going to be just like a edit. I don't think that Bill gets to cut loose very often. I think he works a lot of long hours. If you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, and you're doing surgeries every day, like you're not coming home and relaxing and having a drink. You're probably going to bed, and so when he gets an opportunity to go to the shore and cut loose, he probably just cuts all the way loose because they have 5 kids and they work and they film, so they have an opportunity to go on a couples trip. I think in real life, people that aren't on reality shows, they don't get to travel all the time with their friends. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I had a girls trip, right, except for a couple of months ago, one night over. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't happen a lot in adult life, so I think that's why Bill cuts a little bit loose. Jennifer mentions that she broke her toe when they were on vacation for Teresa's 50th birthday. So I wanted to touch base with you guys about this as well, because we saw it online. If you guys remember, it was Louis' sister, it was Jennifer, and they were definitely somewhere tropical, very, very beautiful. Jennifer ended up hurting her toe or something along the lines. She wasn't going to do anything about it. She was just going to wait because they were like going home to the Americas the next day. And allegedly they said like you should have it looked at, something about with flying and high risk blood. I don't know. But anyways, so she had to go to like the emergency room in Jamaica or wherever they were, Dominican Republic, and Louis' sister went with her. So I just think that kind of contests to what his sisters are like. They seem very welcoming, very kind. The one has like a forgiveness program. I think it's almost like an app type 90-day program, if you will, maybe. That you can purchase online. I'm not sure exactly what the app does, but she's really into like forgiveness and healing, and so she's created a program, I think. Stay says, what Marge said was so offensive, as I have an autistic nephew. She knows she was mic'd. Marge is very smart and she has a sharp tongue. Yeah, I don't even think that she would understand the magnitude of how many people that would be hurt or offended by hearing her say something like that. It definitely would just like to see her probably just come out and apologize. I hope it's not a plan to like hide the video of her, like they're just reporting it when they see it. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I feel terrible. I feel so bad because that would like hurt my heart. There's so many parents out there like struggling, and it's such a blanket term, so it could really, qualify to anyone. And I think she was just, oh, this is no justification, but she was definitely like over dramatizing for the cameras, is what it felt like for me. Even that laugh at the end, it was Marge, but it's not the laugh that she usually tones it a little bit down, if you guys know what I'm saying. If you've been watching since the beginning, sometimes Marge is a little bit more dramatic, I feel like, when she has camera time, and maybe she was just that's what I think she was trying to do. No justification at all by any means. I feel horrible, and I feel so bad because like if you had a coworker that said anything offensive that could qualify to make you feel uncomfortable about your child with your coworkers, it's uncomfortable, guys. I worked where people were, I don't even want to say like intentionally racist, maybe. I'm sure that you guys maybe know what I'm talking about, but it was definitely uncomfortable. There was like a dental assistant who had a daughter who was white, who was dating someone of a different ethnic background, and the grandpa like disowned her. It was and it made it difficult to sometimes work, knowing that that could possibly be how their family's mindset is. So I don't think it's Marge's like that to that magnitude, but I'm just saying that remarks like that are hurtful. They hurt people's feelings, they offend people, and it makes people be uncomfortable and not want to be around you because they start to question your moral compass, right? Like, if you did say it and you are sorry that you said it, I think that it would be amazing if you would just come out and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It is me. I was dead wrong. Like, I'm so, so sorry. Like, I would just think that you would want to make it right because in the bitter end, what's in the dark always comes to the light. And if it is her, and if it is really what's happening, I don't know what's going to happen. Reality T says, the evil cackle. I know. Natasha says the evil cackle. Reality Tea with Krista says Rachel and Britt are always together on and off camera. We did get to see them photos of them prior to the housewives, which I told you guys this. We saw some photos that Frank actually trained them, that they did the same sort of competition that Teresa did. Remember when she like got really muscular, and I can't remember the name of it, but the girls did it as well. But Rachel's husband is also what they're leaving out. Rachel's husband is a longtime friend of Joe Gorga, allegedly, like from years ago. So I think that probably them having a kid the same age as, Joe and Melissa's child developed a relationship between Rachel and Melissa that probably wouldn't have been there, obviously wasn't there thus far up until now because of the fact that their kids are playing sports and stuff together. I almost died when Rachel said she wasn't even born in the 80s. I couldn't believe that she was. I'm like, how old does that make her? Like 91? How old is that? Like 33, maybe 34? I was surprised. I mean, not that she looks old by any means. I just was surprised to hear someone say, like, I wasn't even born in the 80s. What? How old's Danielle, I wonder? She's a really beautiful woman. She works out a lot. One thing I really liked about her at Teresa's wedding, everyone was posting with the bride and groom and yada yada yada. She was the only housewife that I saw that posed and posted with like cameramen and production and people she worked with throughout the season, because technically they had the finale party, but then they had the wedding like several days later. So probably same production. Um, Reality Tea with Krista says she graduated with my little sister. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I love how she's like saying Staten Island girls are tough. And the Jersey women are getting so offended by that. They're like, what do you mean you're from Staten Island and you guys are tough? Like, well, we're from Jersey. We're tough too. Damn it. Yeah, Kim D said that Rachel ditched Britt once she befriended Melissa G. I am not 100% of those rumors. I did hear Kim D say that. I'm sure that the rumors of Rachel about the whole, I mean, if Rachel wanted to be on the show, hypothetically speaking, if Kim D is correct and the rumors are true and they gave the Gorgas a bunch of tile to help get them interviewed and get on the show, then it would make sense that it would be in Rachel's mind and best favor to befriend Melissa because that's like her way into the show. But she's really not thinking about the future, because if Teresa stops talking to Melissa and Joe, boom, they don't have a whole lot going on, right? So we might not see like a friend of them. That's just my opinion. Rachel is very pretty, but she did get caught with like that Stan account or whatever. She had like a Real Housewives of New Jersey fan page, and then when she was like asked about if she had watched the show, she probably just gave the wrong response on, just saying like, no, I didn't really watch the show, but she had a fan page. So usually if you don't, like, people usually aren't super in between with Bravo. Like, you either love the Housewives or love Summer House or Below Deck, whatever it is, you love, love, love your show. And that's great, right? You love your show. But if you're not into Bravo, then you're just really not into Bravo and you don't really have a clue what's going on. Like, if I go talk to my fiance about Bravo. He doesn't understand what I'm talking about. So she had a fan page. That makes me feel like you probably watched the show a little bit, like, or a lot. I don't know. One or the other. The mother's been spotted at Kim D's what does she have? The runway show, the fashion show. Rachel Fudo's mom has been spotted allegedly at Kim D's fashion shows in the past, so they definitely seem to be running with the right circle of people. Do we want to talk at all about Brandy and Caroline, since we're already talking about New Jersey and the Manzos, especially with Caroline stepping into this role and going over to Europe or to Morocco with these women to film and all of this craziness happening. I don't think we'll ever see her back on New Jersey after this. I think Brandy has scared her all the way home to New Jersey, and she's like, never doing that again. Right? I like tweeted. I thought it was funny, but maybe some people don't think I'm very funny. I tweeted that, Brandy needs to go get a life insurance policy for one, and she should be sleeping with one eye open. Someone said, Caroline needs to report it to the police. I said, honey, they were in another country. Okay. Like, what are you talking about? And even if we were in America, the Manzos are not the type of family that are going to go make a report to the police. If they're the type of family where things fall off the truck and people get unalived, like, they're not going to go make a report with the police. I'm sorry, but that's not what I see happening. I mean, think about what Dina's husband did. He was mad at Dina. He like allegedly like beat Dina's husband 2 years prior to their home invasion after Lauren's wedding, because Dina took her now husband as a date to Lauren's wedding. And of course, Lauren's uncle was there, who was going through a divorce with Dina. And then the day or two later, the husband was beat up in like an alleyway, and they were never able to really prove that it was allegedly Tommy. And so that's when they headed out to California. And then when they came home to New Jersey to film for Adriana's, I'm going to get it wrong. So everyone that's Catholic, don't be offended, but I don't know what it was. Whatever it is you do when you're a baby, baptized, confessional, confirmation. I don't know. It was something like that. Okay. And Dina came home for it. And then that's the same night that they came home to invaders in their New Jersey townhouse. So allegedly, Brandy bringing up Dina, I found to be very strange, because we have not been able to really make any affiliation between Brandy and Dina, except for the fact that they both are in California and Dina's in Malibu. Not sure where Brandy's at, but she's like close to the area. It's possible I don't know. They just seem on very different ends of the spectrum. Brandy drinks and Dina seems like, I don't even think Dina really drinks. But allegedly, Kim D kind of said that the falling out, we thought the falling out was between the husbands, but she said it was possibly over the wedding too, as well. She didn't give a lot of details. I don't know if she's going to give us details next week or not, but she just kind of implied that their friendship, it wasn't just about the husbands not getting along, because some people were saying that Louis and Dina's husband had fallen out, because we saw them vacationing together a lot, several different times, and then all of a sudden nothing. But we knew Dina didn't want to be filmed, so we were like, she's not going to be in the wedding. She's not even going to come to the wedding. That's how far away from Bravo she wants to be. And I feel like Caroline is right behind her, because she allegedly, according to page 6, which I can't even believe it. Oh, thank you. Somebody said it was Adriana's first communion. Thank you. Whatever information Brandy had was only from social media. Exactly, Barbara. I don't think that they had anybody giving. Yeah. she just knew that there was a conflict there. She probably had looked up Caroline Manzo before they went. It wouldn't surprise me at all for Brandy to do that, or she did it when they were there. Did you guys see Gretchen Rossi? Oh, by the way, 50 people in the room. If you guys could all please hit the like button. Gretchen Rossi was also. Do you guys remember her from the OC? She was on with Tamra. She dated the really old guy. He passed away from cancer. I can't remember his name. I think that's where Tamra got the famous line, like sugar, TITS, right? Or daddy or father. I don't know, something. Whenever one day when Gretchen was walking out to the limo with the ladies, they were like laughing about her old man husband. Anyways, she's with Slade, and unfortunately, his son passed away. Yes, I don't know if he actually passed away yesterday or if they just let everyone know, made it public yesterday. I'm not sure how old he was. I think like 10 maybe. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But yeah, he passed away. So Gretchen Rossi is not one of my favorite, whatever. But of course, like, oh my gosh, so sad to lose a child. And I also feel bad because I feel like, what about Slade's wife? Like, Gretchen posted it, he was 22. I didn't know he was 22. I thought he was younger than that. But it says Grayson Smiley and then a different last name. So I wonder if maybe the mother got remarried probably and the dad adopted maybe. I kind of feel bad though for his mom because Gretchen posts it and says what happened, and so she's getting enormous amounts of comments and people, of course, showing sympathy to her and love, of course, because it's tragic. But I just kind of feel bad for like the mother because I think about, first of all, if Slade was my baby daddy, good God, and he wasn't really notorious for paying and keeping up with what he needed to pay for the children. That was a big thing with Vicky Gungelson, if you guys remember. Somebody said no, it was like 10 decades ago when they were on. Yeah, crazy. But anyway, so just wanted to let you guys know that. But you guys are gonna have to get refreshed with Gretchen because she's going to be on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 3, even though, well, I'm sorry, 4. Where is number 3 at? Why are we not getting the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 3 out? It's filmed a long, long, long time ago. Anyone have any ideas or tea on why we're not getting that, besides that we're waiting for Potomac to wrap up the reunion? I hope we're not getting a 3-part. Okay, back to New Jersey a little bit. Again, Teresa Giudice does her Namaste Bitches podcast. In the episode, we see her she invites Marge over to her house. They do the skating party. I don't know what you guys thought of everyone's outfits. Melissa's was my favorite, I think. I really wasn't, I don't know. It was okay. It looked okay, whatever. Anyways, we see Marge and Joe go to Teresa's new house with Louie. And they have a sit down because that's the kind of family they are. Things fall off the truck. And when there's a problem, they have a sit down. They don't call the police. They have a sit down. And they make up, right? I mean, they make up. And we see Louie, like take a breath and calm Teresa down and basically make her sit there and listen to what Marge is saying. And Teresa does. And she does say, like, she's being very vulnerable by one, consistently saying, I'm working on myself. I'm going to counseling. I don't want to be somebody who rages out like that last year. And she says in the text message to Melissa, I'm sorry. And, let's start with me. I'm working on myself. I think she did Veronica's like forgiveness program that I was telling you guys about. I think that they probably send like answer. I think there's like homework and journaling and questions and things that you do, like it's a therapy sort of thing. And I think that that's helped her a lot and given her a different perspective on things. We also meet Louis' parents. They come over to the house and the sisters. Her home is beautiful. If you guys don't know, they did do a tour on the Bravo channel. There's clips floating around of the new house. I'm waiting for verification, but I want to tell you guys, I'm like 80% sure that Teresa and Louis bought Sherry Shepherd's old house. Sherry Shepherd lived in New Jersey with her husband and son. Um, and I think that they bought their old house. I'm working on verification, driving myself crazy actually, but I think it's the same house. Teresa and Louis have just done so much renovation. It's hard to try to compare the inside to verify. The outside, definitely the pool and that whole spa area that Teresa and Louis have in their backyard, which is so gorgeous. I'm thinking that it's Sherry Shepherd's old house. I also think she might have mentioned something when the ladies were on the show. If you guys didn't catch it, Melissa, Marge, and who else was it? They were on the Sherry Shepherd show. Also, Jackie, we're going to see an appearance from her. Uh, did we see any? We didn't get anything from her this episode at all. That's interesting. We saw Danielle at home with her two children. We met them. We're going to meet them next week as well. I think they come over to Jennifer's for a little bit of a play date. Her son is so funny. He says, there's a clip. I'm going to have to post it for you guys, but I think he swears. I've seen like a couple of scenes. He's 7, and I think he has a little bit of a potty mouth. So that's going to be interesting to watch. It's always interesting to see people with their kids, how they parent. And I think, guys, really that's what we're about to see this year. We're about to see Rachel, we're about to see Danielle, Melissa and Teresa, Marge and Dolores. Hope M and M are gone next season, Catherine said. What do you guys think of? Is everyone going to love Dolores's new boyfriend? I mean, everyone seems to love him and they haven't really met him yet. I'm suspect. I want Dolores to be super happy. So, of course, if she's happy, that's amazing. But something about him just makes me a little suspect of him. I'm just watching him still, hoping that his intentions are really as pure and good as she is saying that they are. And everyone else seems to really like him. Allegedly, he is like a big electrician. Like he is like a I don't even know what the word is, like for maybe like the state or something like that. And so he has a good job and he always obviously has a good rapport. She was like not a security guard. She worked in a prison, I think, for a really long time. And her dad was a police officer, and so I think that she's used to dating people that work in the community. And Mia says Teresa said Marge was hurting her by vocalizing her concerns. Marge told Melissa that Teresa agreed that she was projecting lies. And Krista says that Dolores' new boyfriend is the opposite of David. And she did work in corrections, yes. So again, I think somebody that works in corrections, like you're going to be a strong woman if you're working in a corrections facility. And that, some men can't handle it. They don't like it. Love that we're going to see Frank and Dolores kind of talk about reevaluating what their roles are now that Dolores has a full-time companion. Dolores has always been super supportive of Frank's companion, Brittany. She never said an ill word about that girl on the show ever, not one time. And so I think that really can test to how Dolores is perceiving Frank's girlfriend, right? So hopefully Frank can learn to perceive Dolores' boyfriend the same way, and then they can be happy together. I told you guys I met Frankie in New York City, their son. He's the nicest boy. I don't even know how you would raise a gentle man, like the nicest, most respectful, like 20-something-year-old I've ever met in my life. I don't know how you do it, but they did it. Like, she should write a parenting book, I think. Fuck Switzerland. Write a parenting book, Dolores, because you're winning. And both her kids turned out okay. You guys know how rare that happens. Usually, one of them's going to be the black sheep. Like, usually you aren't 2 for 2 with your kids. Like, maybe you'll be 2 for 3, but not 2 for 2. You always got to have one that's like gives you heart attacks and stresses you out. But that doesn't seem to be the case for them. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm about to wrap this up. I got to go to work. And I feel like I just posted all day and I don't know what I needed to get done. Frankie said he wants to be nothing like his dad. Oh, thank you, Mia, for that. Guys, make sure you hit that like button for me. Almost 50 people in the room today. I would love it if you guys could please hit the like button. It's a nice way just to support my channel. And I will be coming back to you guys with more tea. Of course, I'm working on more tea. And hopefully we can find out what's going on with this video, this account that's suspended, and already getting clips in for next week. So I feel like we're gonna have a lot of tea for next week's episode before it airs. I don't know if you guys have, but I got a couple of long clips for next week's episode. I don't know if I can share them yet, but I'll definitely be talking to you guys about them. So hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on, and have a great day.